This edition of the Nami's video blog was brought to you by the word fog. If it's good enough for the most interesting man in the world, it's good enough for you. Ladies and gentlemen, I have an important announcement to make. I'm a nerd.
Hey, guess what? This is my theme song.
In a recent video, Sexy Phil announced that Billy, the Blue Power Ranger, officially came out of the closet. And then he showed a picture of the Blue Power Ranger sans the helmet. And it was from the movie, and I know it was from the movie because the suit was all leathery and rubbery and all cool looking. They upgraded it for the movie, if you remember. Which means now I had to go back and watch some of that movie because I loved it when I was a kid. So I went back. I went onto the tubes and I found some clips. I watched the first 20-30 minutes of the Power Rangers movie, and wow, it was horrible. It was terrible. I cannot believe I could not stand to watch anymore. It was just overly cheesy and retarded. Wow. The voiceovering was so obvious. And it was horribly done. But you know what's funny? At the time that it came out, I loved it. I saw it over and over again in the theater. I owned the DVD. I had all the toys. I had the Megazord from Toys R Us that came apart into all the different individual Zords, and then you could put them back together. And then I had the Happy Meal from the McDonald's Happy Meal Power Ranger action figures that were like that big, so they were size proportionate to the Megazord because the Megazord was like this tall. But if you bought the action figures from Toys R Us, they were also this tall. So it's like, why call on the Megazord if you're already that tall? So instead I got the Power Ranger the mini ones from the McDonald's Happy Meal, so it was size proportionate. And then the only other action figures that I had were Transformers. So I would always have the Power Rangers fighting against the Decepticons. And when they defeated all the mini ones, they would have to, Megatron would come out, and he's the big one, so they would call on the Megazord to defeat the big Megatron. And sometimes I would have the Maximals come in and join the fight, and they were on their own side. And I think I even had a Buzz Lightyear that came in and fought alongside. No, actually, if I remember correctly, my Buzz Lightyear was Zordon.
It's time for another Was That Really Necessary?
You know the movie Avatar was just re-released in the theater with extra footage? Was that really necessary? I mean, it was long enough the first time. I'm so scared! My people don't label their personal food! Quick reminder, the jump cut contest is still open until midnight on the 1st, which gives you 2 more days to get your submission entries in. In 2 days from now, the contest is over. It's been open for more than a month. If you haven't had it in by now, get it in, because I'm not extending it anymore. Deal with it. That's not how I want to say this, but that's how it was said just now. So I'm going to leave it like that, because I don't really want to say it again. I would rather just go with what I just said than say it again. And I'm probably going to edit all of this out, but you know what? I'm going to keep talking anyways. Why should I keep talking anyways? That is a very good question. I have nothing specific to say, but there's a camera on, so I feel it necessary to talk. That's quite an interesting thing that is happening to me right now. The camera is rolling and I'm talking, but I'm not even saying anything. I'm not saying anything of any significance at all, except for the fact that I'm not saying anything. Ooh. This edition of the Nami's video blog was brought to you by the word fog. Fog.